That brings us to our friend N.O.R.E, who's with us right now. N.O.R.E and EFN decided to have Kanye back on Drink Champs. And I guess I'll start here, N.O.R.E. What was the logic for you guys in giving him the platform to come on and talk with you?
Well, the logic was the same way you guys are giving me the platform. I think you guys have love for me. You guys have respect for me. And you guys think that I should have a say. There wouldn't be no Drink Champs if it wasn't for me coming to this very show and viewing my expressions. You know what I'm saying? I remember I came up with the idea to do Drink Champs after Prodigy wrote his book. And Prodigy wrote his book, and I had to have a rebuttal because obviously I was in the book. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. And I would come up to this show, I would come up to the other show, and I started to realize that, you know what? I should have my own show. So this started from there. Now with Ye, I have a relationship with Ye. You know, when he was going through a lot of the things that he was going through, he would call me and he would actually listen to me and take my advice. So I felt I could control the situation. I felt that I could control the interview, and I've learned early on that I didn't. Like, you know, as a black man, I feel like I failed. As a human, I feel like I failed. But as a journalist, I succeeded because as a journalist, you're not really supposed to have an opinion. You're supposed to let people talk. And my biggest critique on Drink Champs is, N.O.R.E, you always cut people off. And this is the one time I didn't cut the people off. Didn't cut them off.
Says, you should have cut them off.
Everyone's mad. Like, so I should just stick to what the script is and cut everyone off. But I sincerely apologize to anybody that was hurt by Kanye's words, by Kanye's actions, because I didn't really realize that sometimes you're so much into the interview, you're not even in the interview. You understand what I'm saying? And so for the first 5 minutes, Kanye had walked in and he said he had people filming. And he told to my producer, he said, if you tell my people to stop filming, that he would walk out. So that the rhetoric of Georgefloyd, when you hear him speak about Georgefloyd, that's in the first 5 to 8 minutes of the actual interview. I actually check him and I say, you shouldn't say that. I actually check him about the Jewish community. I actually check him about the black community, but you don't see that till 2 hours in the interview. So what you're seeing right now, what we're getting backlash for, is for the first 5 minutes of the interview. And you guys understand that when you're trying to have a long interview or in-depth interview,
you got to pace yourself.
You got to pace yourself. So, but if the people are mad at me, the people are saying that was irresponsible of N.O.R.E, you know what? I'm gonna say yes. Y'all right. You know what I mean? Like I should have checked him right then and there. So listen, he said it.
I hear you, and because I love you, I went and kept watching. I was like, everyone's saying they didn't check them at all. Let me keep going. And I got to the parts where you guys did try to push back. I mean, listen, you guys went the homie approach of like, hey, but what about, you know, which is what you should do, because he's your homie. Right. Like, it makes sense that was your route. Do you feel, though, my only criticism would be this, N.O.R.E, there was one part where you were trying to really push back at the end, and I was like, oh, man, N.O.R.E's too drunk. He's too drunk.
I was too, like, by the way, we're called Drink Champs, guys. We're not political champs. You know what I'm saying? We're called Drink Champs. We're here to get these people inebriated. We're here to have, because that's when you get these stories that you guys love so much, is when I get them drunk. So, unfortunately, sometimes I get drunk with them. It's just he stood with that ideology. He stood with. And by the way, I love Kanye West. I really think that we shouldn't give up on Kanye West. I really think that
it's getting tough.
We should talk. Yeah. I know this. I really think, because right now, to me, I just got the phone with Talib Kweli, and I said, Talib, I think you should reach out to him. I think he needs a Mos Def conversation. I think he needs a Dave Chappelle conversation, because he's not having these. So when he's having them, he's so much and dominance of this. And like I said, you know, let me not railroad. I'm here to say I apologize to anybody who felt like I let them down, because I did feel like I did let them down to a certain extent, because like I said, I did check him later, but by the time I checked him, it was already kind of like too late. So I can't be mad at Baller Alert for, you know, posting the footage that I don't want them to post, because I'm not mad at them when they post the footage that I do want them to post. So yeah, I do feel let down. I do feel like I didn't do the right job, but this is a learning experience. I did not go to school for journalism, but that's not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a special ed student. It's not an excuse. I should have checked him as soon as he said it.
I appreciate that sentiment. Nore, what do you got?
I will say that because I was so frustrated watching clips of you trying to get a point across, but there was never really a point made because you were trying to gather your thoughts and you were clearly very drunk. But I'll give you some pushback. I feel like sometimes when you sit down and you're going to talk to somebody, especially when you know that shows like The Shop couldn't even air their episode because of the hate speech and the consequences that things can come out of. I just felt like, God, I really felt like.
Well, I felt like I had control. I feel like I had control. So. And then at the time, it's like, I've been the guy that they said blackballed. I've been the guy that they didn't let in Hot 97. I've been the guy that wasn't allowed in MTV, BT studios, Viacom studios. So I've been there. So I was thinking of that. I said, you know what? I felt like I was blackballed before. So let me let this guy speak. And I did let him speak. And it's a 3-hour interview. It was only 2 minutes of it where I didn't have control of it. You know what I'm saying? So am I apologetic? Yes, I'm super apologetic. It's a learning lesson for me. I've never faced this before, but I want to say that I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I can sit there. I can say, that's only Kanye West, and it's only what he said. But I have a responsibility when I have an audience.
But do you think? Let me question you on this. Do you think you were too thirsty to have this moment? Were you looking too much to get the eyeballs?
Peter, to tell you the truth, I already scored the touchdown. Right. It was just me spiking the ball. You know what I'm saying? I had already scored the touchdown. I'm just being honest. I feel like we're the biggest in the game. I feel like we are, and I feel like I already scored the touchdown. I didn't need the spike, and that's the problem. I wanted to spike the ball because I was very hurt by the awards. Yes, I won the award. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I got a question, man.
So, Cass.
So at no point when you guys saw this, you didn't think it might be a bad idea to let this out. That it might bring us backwards for whatever progress has been made. Because in my case, after this, I spent this weekend talking with a bunch of my friends that feel differently, that have a different opinion, that were making roads in one way, and now we're like, yo, but your man saying this, and I'm talking to Journal like, I'm gonna say like some of my white friends that lean a certain type of way, we still have conversations like, yo, this, that, or the third. But now they're like, yo, man, but your man is saying this, and your man is saying that. But look, so now we're having these conversations where we're stepping backwards. At no point did you guys think like, hey, yo, you know what, it might be a bad idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why I'm taking responsibility. I can sit here and say, we didn't know. Well, I did know. I did know to a certain extent, but what it was I didn't think he was going to spread this ideology. I didn't think he was going to go there. I thought that he was going to have a couple of drinks. He smoked blunts with us. I thought it was going to be lighthearted. And
yeah,
it was only in the beginning. It was only in the beginning.
I know.
It was only in the beginning, and he threatened my producer that if he couldn't film, he would walk out. So we was trying to, that's how our interviews go. Rosenberg been on this platform. We try to lighten you up, and then we get you drunk, and then we get you to turn to our side. And we tried to do that. We did, but it's yay. And I learned my lesson. Because at the end of the day, as a journalist, I did my job. I let a person talk. As a journalist, you're supposed to have no opinion, no options, none of that. But I'm black. I am Georgefloyd. I am Virgil. I am, you know what I'm saying? I am that. And I didn't know until I saw it. I don't watch my own interviews. I just think I'm that dope that I don't even watch myself. You know what I'm saying? So when I watched myself, I was embarrassed. I was like, wait a minute, what did you just let him say?
Well, and another lesson for you is that being a journalist isn't just being objective, but it can be fact-checking too. And there were times where he needed to get checked. That part, the George Floyd part, when he referenced the Candace Owens documentary, like that's fact. Like that's not a story she's telling. That bothered me. You know what I'm saying? That he really
bothered me. It bothered me, Rosenberg. It bothered me. I do not follow that. I do not, when the George Floyd thing was happening, I didn't actually go out and march. But I was on every, call as if I was marching. And, I felt that. I saw that same video. I saw that video. Like, you can't tell me that knee was not on the neck. You know what I'm saying? I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. So when I looked back at the interview, I was like, damn, N.O.R.E, like, why did you wait 2 hours to address that? Even though I did feel like I addressed it, but I addressed it way too late in the interview, way too long. And I'm embarrassed. So to everybody that was, by the way, like I said, I could blame this all on Kanye West. I'm not. I want to sit back and say I'm irresponsible for letting it go. I'm actually listening to Mav Carver. Yep.
N.O.R.E, at any point, maybe off the camera that the audience didn't see, did you have any type of follow-up conversation with him about this?
Yeah. My whole thing was, soon as the powers that be that we're down with found out about this, they just tried to remove the episode, and I wanted to defend freedom of speech. I wanted to defend that. So I was like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, boom, 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 boom. And now that I think about it, it's like sometimes freedom of speech just ain't free. You know what I mean? It's just a different world that we live in, and I regret it. Do I regret it? I want to be honest. I regret it. So if you had to do it again, you would have passed on the interview or not put it out? No, I would have been the better journalist that I am. I would have probably not drunk. I would have probably stayed sober the whole time and just stayed on the subject, because I still believe people have a right to speak. Whether it's something that you agree with or not, but you have a right to also check them on it and check them immediately, and that's what I regret. And I love
like it was really interesting too, because for people watching it, you guys don't know N.O.R.E personally, and when N.O.R.E's jumping in at one point, you're like, yeah, we love Jewish people. We love Jewish people. Like I'm like, no, he's sincere. Like he has a lot of Jewish friends. He's really serious about this, and Ye would not accept it. Like he wanted
By
to
the
say
way,
what he was
Steve
saying.
Rifkin is in the building. Steve Rifkin is in the show. My friend Diego is in the show. Eric Manton is in the show.
Wait, Steve was with Ye?
No, he knew what he was walking into.
Got it.
I needed black people there. I needed Jewish people there. I needed everyone there to know that the people that if you are offended, they're right here, Ye. They're right here. And Ye has a picture. If you look at the behind the scenes, that's Ye hugging Steve Rifkin. That's Steve Rifkin hugging him. This is one of the biggest Jewish people in the world. Wu-Tang Clan. This is him. So I'm thinking, if anybody's supposed to check him, let my Jewish constituents tell me right then and there. So that's the reason why I was a little thrown off, man. You know what I mean? I'm not the best journalist in the world. So that's the reason why, like I said, I could be here and say, yo, that's just Ye. But I want to apologize for my part of it. You know, my part in, letting this rhetoric fly. You know what I mean? I didn't notice it till it was out already. You know, because like I said, I don't edit. We don't edit. Rosenberg, you did our show. You know that we don't edit. We want the purest of the purest.
Oh, believe me, I've wanted you to edit things from other people's interviews before. No, you don't.
But guess what? We're going to start editing. Rules have changed.
Hey, N.O.R.E, listen, I know you're going to probably continue to get dragged for a little bit, and I'll now probably get dragged for being too easy on you. But guess what? I know where your heart is, and I appreciate you coming on and taking ownership today.
Yeah, we appreciate your honesty.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.